Hello, and welcome to the monthly preview for the October issue of The Banker magazine. I'm Marie Kemplay, the Banker's investment banking and capital markets editor, and I'm joined by Joy Macknight, who is managing editor of The Banker. Thanks for joining me, Joy.
Hi, Marie.
So we're here to discuss the October issue of the magazine, which is a special issue to mark the IMF and the World Bank's annual meetings, which are taking place virtually this year. And the cover story is an interview with IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva. So what were the main areas of discussion in the interview, Joy?
So first, she talked about the IMF's response to the COVID-19 crisis, which is pretty impressive. But it also shows the extent to which the global health crisis has really turned into a widespread economic crisis. More than 100 countries have asked the IMF for assistance, and so far it has provided about $30 billion in emergency financing to 75 countries, 47 of which are low-income countries. Secondly, Ms. Georgieva touched on the downturn in global trade due to the pandemic, but obviously worsened by the ongoing trade disputes, such as the big one with China and the US. But she also countered the deglobalization hypothesis, really, and she highlighted the massive increase in connectivity and also the leap forward in the digital economy, which obviously is borderless. And thirdly, she talked about what is needed to come through this crisis with a greener and more equitable world, including how the IMF continues to support the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, as well as working hard to ensure that there's no backtracking on the gains made worldwide on gender equality and also action on climate change. The annual meetings are being held virtually, as you said, this month. So it'll be really interesting to see how sort of the next stage of the recovery is fostered by the IMF and also the World Bank.
Wow, well, that sounds very interesting, Joy. And what other articles will feature in the October special issue as well?
The Banker's Europe editor, James King, has written an interesting article on London's position as a hub for Chinese finance and whether or not that will continue post-Brexit. Asia editor, Kimberly Long, looks at how the trade routes in Asia are being redrawn and provides an update on China's Belt and Road Initiative. And a regular contributor from the US, Jane Monahan, writes about the crucial issues that US banks will be caught up in as the country enters a new presidential cycle, and how domestic banks can really address the racial wealth gap. And of course, we also announced the winners in the Bankers Investment Banking Awards 2020.
This year, we have introduced several new sustainability categories into the awards. Now, we've had sustainability categories in previous years, but this is, I think, the first time we've had multiple different awards, which really gives us the opportunity to recognize the banks that have put sustainability at the heart of what they do across a whole host of different areas. And secondly, I think an important thing to note this year is that the very important role that investment banks have played in keeping the global economy moving at what's been a critical time, really. These awards have really allowed us to showcase the achievements of the banking sector in continuing to provide excellent service to their clients among some really quite difficult circumstances.
Well, thank you so much for those insights, Marie. And thanks to our audience for watching. Obviously, you can read the Banker's October issue on thebanker.com.